Have you ever found yourself in the middle of a conversation where the other person is just fundamentally, painfully wrong, but they're leaning into it with so much confidence it's almost impressive? You try to gently offer a new perspective or a recent update. It's not that they can't understand the new information, the mind is just completely closed. That's the real tragedy of a fixed mindset. It turns a conversation into a battlefield. They aren't looking for the truth or even a better way to do things. The difference is whether you go buy a book or you shout louder. When someone is that stubbornly wrong, they think that if they admit they were wrong about a single data point, their integrity falls down. In reality, the smartest people I know are the ones who are almost excited to be proven wrong because it means there is a new perspective and a new viewpoint to consider. Some people want the world to be simple and black and white. It's become more socially valuable to have a strong opinion rather than a correct one. It's about the refusal to be a student, a lifelong learner. Once you decide that you've graduated from learning, you've essentially decided to start decaying of the mind. Intellectual atrophy is a real thing, and it seems very similar to a stubborn argument at a dinner party. They see new information as an attack rather than an asset. The growth mindset. If you don't have it, you're basically a flip phone in a 5G world. You still work, but nobody can really use you for anything meaningful. You're just taking up space in the drawer of how things used to be. People who are wrong often use the loudest voice to compensate. They think volume equals validity. The worst phrase is, "We've always done it this way." It's an admission that you've stopped looking out the window and started staring at the wall. When you're talking to someone like that, you realize you can't actually give them the answer. You have to give them the desire to look for it themselves, which is way harder and sometimes impossible. If you aren't cringing at who you were or what you believed 2 years ago, you probably aren't growing enough. Growth requires a constant shedding of old beliefs. Some people, though, are just wearing the same thing they had in high school and wondering why it feels so constricting. You realize you've spent 20 minutes trying to explain color to someone who's committed to seeing everything in black and white. You have to eventually just walk away and let them be in peace with being wrong. You want to help them see the light, but some people are just really comfortable staying in the dark. They've decorated the dark, they know where the furniture is, and they aren't looking for a flashlight in any way. The best leaders are the ones who are constantly asking, "What am I missing?" instead of, "Did you hear me?" They know their blind spots are their biggest liabilities. A growth mindset is essentially an admission that you are a work in progress. It's a humble way to live, but it's also the most exciting. You never know what version of yourself you can evolve into. It takes a lot of mental energy to maintain a fixed mindset. You have to constantly filter out conflicting evidence and avoid certain conversations. It's much easier to just be open and let the chips fall where they may. The painfully wrong person uses words like always, never, and everyone knows. Absolute language is a huge red flag for a closed mind. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. It's okay to be wrong. It's just not okay to stay wrong once valid new information is received. Ultimately, the goal isn't to win the argument. The goal is to make sure you don't become them. You keep your mind open. It's being the person who can learn anything. Some people just invent new logic on the fly to support their old conclusions. It's really quite a master class in mental gymnastics. You have to really admire the creativity, even if the result is complete nonsense. It's not just about intelligence, it's about character. It takes a strong person to admit their foundation was flawed. When you see someone finally get it and change their mind, it's a beautiful thing. It's like watching someone wake up from a long and confusing dream. People who stop learning also stop being funny. Humor requires the ability to see things from a different angle, and a fixed mindset only has one angle. They become predictable, and predictability is the death of wit and growth. You can tell a lot about a person's growth mindset by how they handle a mistake. In a casual game or a minor task, if they make excuses or blame something or someone else, they're probably the same way with their core beliefs. The way you do the small things is the way you do the big things. It's a choice to stay curious. It's a choice to pick up a book that challenges you. It's a choice to listen to a podcast that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. It's a reminder to us all that if we aren't careful, we're next, because stagnation is the default state. Growth requires active mindfulness and resistance. I want to be the person who, when I'm 80, is still asking why and how. It's a privilege to be able to learn. We have more access to truth and information and self-actualization than any other generation in all of history. So we need to stay hungry for the truth. The person who learns is the most important shift that you'll ever make.